Hey up everybody, my name's Joshua Morrison, director of Johnny Moz's Lessons in Confidence. Today I want to talk to you a little bit about the fog and why I think it's really nice and why I just like weird weather in general, because stuff like this isn't the norm. Normally this place looks really fucking boring, but I look back there and I just think it gives it a bit more of a, I guess, a vibe. I don't really like the word vibe, but I can't think of a better word to actually use to describe it. You know when the trees in the background sort of blend in with the sky, and you know when the whole world seems like it's like just a big blanket over you? That's what the fog kind of does, and I really enjoy that. Even outside of the context of just being a film guy and going around filming stuff, it's obviously useful for me to have stuff that looks pretty like that. Like it's quite useful. But in terms of just like appreciating like weird weather, there's so much in the realm of weird weather. Like I don't know, the other week I went out to the park to film one of these videos, and there was like this layer of fog. It was like a small layer. It was like you could walk up and touch the fog almost. That was really cool. There was, you know, then back in May, I went up north with my friend, and the Northern Lights just appeared. We went up this hill, right? And there were a load of people that were coming up the hill, and turns out they were waiting for the Northern Lights, and we didn't know that the Northern Lights were going to be happening. And we had a look at them. I tried to film some footage of it, but it didn't look very good. But it looked so honestly beautiful in real life. And it just made me think that there's so much in the way of weather out there. Like, I remember last year, it rained so much that you couldn't cross the road. And I loved it. It was brilliant, because I love when it rains like that and it just feels intense, and you know, you see people that are like crowding under like overhangs and stuff like that, and you're just going through, you're rushing through the rain, you're having a lot of fun with it, you're getting wet. You know, that's quite fun. You know, it gets warm and it gets cold and it gets warm again and it gets cold again, and the years cycle through, and at the end of the day, you know, all you can do is appreciate each day as it comes, because each day is going to look a little bit different from the last. Like yesterday, this place didn't look like this. It looked a bit more clear. It was still cloudy. Like it wasn't like a blue sky or anything, but you know, it wasn't like foggy kind of like this, where there's a bit of an ambiance to it. And the day before that, it was, you know, when it's kind of got those broken sort of clouds that are up there, and you're not entirely sure how they managed to make those work. Yeah, it was those beforehand. And then a few weeks ago, it was bright, you know, blue sky. It was cold, obviously, so everything had that like almost mystical sheen over it, where there's just like a little layer of white sort of luminescence over everything. That was really nice. And they're all varieties of nice weather, you know, because nice weather isn't necessarily about, am I warm, am I the right temperature, can I be bothered to go out? You know, it's not necessarily about that. Sometimes it's nice to look out the window with a bowl of soup and just go, this is all right, I'm enjoying myself. And that's what I think about weather in general, is that I just love the fact that we have so many different options, that we have so many little, like, and I kind of feel sorry for people who live in places where it's just almost like a mono climate, essentially. Like, you just see the same thing day in and day out, and the seasons don't really change. And it's like, you know, I understand seasonal depression. I've had seasonal depression on various years, but, you know, I feel like if I just had it be summer all the time, I'd get so sick of that. Like, I want the variety. I want there to be a little bit of, you know, this and then that and a little bit of that. Because if I didn't have that, if I didn't, you know, variety is the spice of life, as they say. If I didn't have that, what am I going to do with myself? Just wander around, just endless bright sunny days, just waiting for rain? Because like, that's what I'd be doing. And if it was raining all the time, I wouldn't like that either. You know, I want there to be a bit of variety. I want there to be fog sometimes. But again, I don't want it to be foggy every single fucking day. Because if it was, what am I going to do then? I'm just going to get bored, right, in the fog. I'm not going to be able to see, because, you know, it can be a bit annoying. And I imagine for the drivers here, it's a pain in the arse, this, because especially if you're driving on a motorway, that's going to be quite dangerous, you know. So it increases risk. So I understand why people are annoyed at the fog. And you know, I'm not saying like there aren't downsides to all forms of weather, but there's downsides to bright sunny weather as well. You know, it can be too hot, you can get sunburn, you know, stuff like that. And you know, just the same way there's downsides to cold weather. You can get frostbite, you can get pneumonia. You know, like there's all sorts of problems. But as long as you know, wrap up warm, whatever, you do the right things, you can kind of go around. And everyone's got bloody apps on their phone now that like sort out the weather for you. I'll get up the weather. What does the weather say for us today? Because, you know, it doesn't mention it being foggy, but it just is. So obviously you can't rely on it. It says it's 6 degrees, and it says there's a 10% chance of precipitation, which isn't great. And then what else does it have? Wind. It's not very windy, yeah. 3 kilometers an hour most, so not much. But you know what? It's nice that you have the little app, because even though the app's wrong sometimes, it's kind of fun to see what it's going to do and then go, ha, it's fun that, you know. And then you have a little bit of a joke with your friends, like, oh, the weather said it was going to do this. Oh, bloody weather app is always wrong. But then when it's right, we don't sit there and go, oh, sorry weather app, you were right this time. I've got bloody egg on my face, haven't I? We don't do that because we don't, I don't know, show the app that level of respect. It doesn't deserve it because it's wrong so much. And honestly, it's not even wrong that much, to be honest. It's right most of the time. Yeah, degrees and stuff like that, I don't really understand. Like, I don't know what 6 degrees means. Like, it doesn't feel like 6. You know when it says like 6 degrees feels like 3 degrees? What does that mean? That to me means nothing. It means it is 3 degrees. How can it feel like I understand that wind can cause things to feel colder than they actually are. But if that's the case, just tell me it's 3 degrees. I'm not a scientist. I don't need this information to be accurate. I'm not a meteorologist, right? And I suppose it's nice that they tell you it's, you know, feels like 3 degrees, but it is 6 degrees. Because it feels like 3 degrees, yeah, it does. It doesn't feel that cold today, to be honest. Like, I've got 3 layers on, but I don't really know why I've got this many layers on. It's not that much of a problem. I could probably just, the only reason I've got this up is because, you know, to hide the lav mic. So it's all right, to be honest, this. And this is why I like the variety of weather, because as long as you're prepared for all different things, then you're gonna have a decent time. Because variety is the spice of life, and we need different things for different times. And if we have the same thing all the time, we'll get bored. There's people watching this from all over the world, right? Fucking hell, I nearly hit the back of my head. I'm gonna move over to this side. You know, I've seen that people watch these videos from Peru, from Malaysia, from like South Africa, right? Hello to all the people watching from all the countries in the world, right? And then, you know, what kind of weather have you got going on? Because you know what, there's stuff that I haven't even thought of, like monsoons or hurricanes and stuff like that. That's all grim. I don't really want a hurricane to hit me and destroy my house, or a tornado to suck my family away, or whatever they do. I don't want a tsunami to come in and kill my family. That's miserable, right? Like, if I do all that, and I live in a place that has all these things, like I don't know if a volcano really counts as weather, but you get the point I'm making. Like, I'm not saying, you know, let's have all the worst weather in the world, right? I'm just saying let's have a variety, because we can't have a nice day every single day, because if we did, then the nice days wouldn't feel all that brilliant. So that's kind of the video, to be honest. There's not much else to say. This is basically just me sort of going on about why I like the fog, whilst there's some fog in the background. And you know what? I could have really filmed it that other way because it seems foggy on that side, but whatever. You know, that's the way the cookie crumbles. I don't know why I said that. I've never said that phrase before. So yeah, I'm just gonna close off with what the weather tomorrow is gonna be. So remember this, it's going to be all right, apparently. It's gonna be okay. The weather will be fine tomorrow. 7 degrees. It's gonna rain on New Year's Day. And then it's gonna be sunny on Sunday. And that's it. Bye. Oh yeah, leave comments about the weather, about like what kind of weather you have in your like neighborhood. What's the weirdest bit of weather you saw? And I'm talking like proper weird, like something that's so weird that like there are little internet forums that think that aliens did it and stuff. See ya.